Hey, we're live. Welcome into the Flippin Hippos YouTube channel. All two of you, one of you. Thanks for joining me today. It's Friday, December 2nd. We will wait for some folks to come on in and filter in. And I'll riff for a little bit and do some housekeeping stuff while we wait. Donovan Collection is here, first live with you in all of these years. Well, welcome in. Thanks for joining me today. This is the first live show I've done in, oh my gosh, forever, ever. Trying to think. I haven't done one since I was in Florida, so it's been a minute. We've been here. I was counting before I came on so I could tell you, and then I forgot. So we got here the 28th of October, which was a Friday, but very late at night. So we've been here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks today. 5 weeks today. And it took me 5 weeks to get my shit together so that I could be ready to do live shows again. But every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the plan moving forward. I hope to be here every single Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern with you guys. That will be my new time and day for my live shows. We have 5 Fridays left in 2022. Can you believe it? There are 5 Fridays left, and that includes today. So 4 weeks from today will be New Year's weekend. I don't know where the time goes, but I do have actual planned out live shows for those 5 weeks. You'll just get to see this pretty face, but this pretty face. But then next year, I want to start back on in with guests. I want to invite people on to talk about different things. And I want to kind of get out of my comfort zone and my viewers' comfort zones. So we're going to have people on to talk about all kinds of stuff that isn't plush and jeans and remote controls. So that'll be fun. And if there's anyone that you would like to see on the channel, or if you would like to come on, just let me know on one of my millions of social media platforms. Contact me somehow, and I will invite people. So yeah, welcome in, Donovan Collection. Thank you for joining us. Shelly Sweet Finds, longtime viewer. Hi. How are you doing? I hope things are going good with your grandbaby. Trying to listen while at work. Well, welcome in, Mary. Thanks for trying. And Dan, yes, you do see lots of baby Yodas. There's more over there. I am clearly a 12-year-old child who has a lot of stuff on her desk. So yeah, there's lots of baby Yodas. I actually am in the process of, I've never done one before, but I decided I'm going to do one. I'm going to do an office tour. I may actually flex and do a whole entire house tour at some point of our new place. I'm like, it's not me. I never have before, but this place is really cute. And I have like a whole hocus pocus alcove. It's really cute. But yeah, so we'll see about that. Anyway, Yoda, I think, has actually got the same baby daddy as Gizmo. Anyway, I cracked myself up. So we're here. We're settled in. We've been here for 5 weeks. We got 5 more weeks left of 2022. Today is December 2nd, which means yesterday was the very first day of the last month of Q4 and the last month of 2022. So you guys, we got to get in the mindset of going out with a bang. You want to wrap up Q4 nicely and neatly with a bow. Hey, get it? Because it's Christmas. So you got to wrap it up nice and neat, but you want to go out with a bang because it's New Year's Eve and there's fireworks. But I'm just full of dad jokes today, aren't I? Wrap it up with a bow and then go out with a bang because it's New Year's Eve. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Tammy Smith. A very good friend of mine and longtime viewer. We've met through reselling and connected that way. Never met in real life, but I consider her a very dear, sweet friend of mine. And thank you so much for the super chat. Very nice of you. The new Wednesday Addams, let me tell y'all are going to get me off on a tangent. We're going to be here for an hour talking about Tim Burton and Jenna Ortega and Wednesday. phenomenal. On a scale of 1 to 10, Wednesday is a 9.5. I took off 0.5 because the actors they chose for Morticia and Gomez are just awful and atrocious, but they're only in like 2 episodes and the rest of the stuff is great. It's like Nancy Drew meets the Addams Family. It's got the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina vibes to it. There's some teenagey ink stuff in there, but it's good. It's good. I like it. I'm not going to talk too much. Yes, we will, Tammy. Thanks again for the super chat. We're going to let that hang out right there. Shelly would love to see a house tour. I may think about it and I may do it differently. Like most folks do like a house tour all the way through. I might just like show you my pride and joys. I do have like a little alcove I set up with like Harry Potter and Hocus Pocus. I have a Star Wars kitchen with a Baby Yoda crock pot. My Christmas tree is really nice. I've already put that up. I did put up my Christmas tree on Instagram. If you follow us on there, you can see it. It is a black Christmas tree with purple lights and Halloween and horror ornaments. But yeah, we'll see. I'm totally like I'm all over the place. I haven't been live in so long. I'm so excited. I don't remember how to do a live. I don't remember how to be a person, but I'm very excited to be with you guys and to see all of the familiar faces and as the usual suspects star on MTV Cribs. Wednesday was pretty amazing. It's a great show. It's a Halloween tree. Well, actually, it's not. This is my Christmas tree. So you'll get to see the whole thing next year because when we moved, I didn't get to set it up. But I do have orange ornaments and lights and other decorations for it. And the actual plan for the tree was to go up in September and be all Halloween-y and stay up September, October, and then change over in November for Christmas and stay up through New Year's. It's a horror movie lover's tree, Christmas tree. You can call it a Halloween tree. I don't care. It's nice to see you this giddy. Yo, I'm telling you what, sometimes all you need is a change of address. Okay, so we're going to talk. I have notes. Right here. We're going to talk. I got notes here and I got notes on the computer. And at the end, I'm going to give away a free month of List Perfectly for somebody. And you can like not be using it at all or already be a user and you still get your month free. So don't feel like you can't win if you already use it. You just won't have to pay in January. You'll get a free month. And you can upgrade too. So if you already use List Perfectly and you're on a lower subscription and you win, you can upgrade to Pro free for a month just to try it out. Also, while we're doing the show, you guys, I have to make a decision because 2023 is creeping up and I'm going to be doing all these shows with you guys on routines and processes and being organized, which means I have to follow what I preach, right? So I have to start getting my 2023 bullet journal set up. But I have 4 choices. So I still have this one. This is what Robert, you guys know Robert, the Plushie guy, my friend, very good friend Robert. He actually brought this to Reseller Remix in 2021 as a present for me. Robert's a really nice guy. This year he brought me a little Hocus Pocus cauldron. It's cute. It's still in the package. So I haven't used that one yet. I have 4 choices for my 2023 bullet journal. I'm going to show you guys all 4, and then you can tell me what you think. I have Stephen King, You'll Float too. I got this for $1.50. A bookstore at the mall was going out of business. And I went in. Of course, there were no actual Stephen King books. Those were all gone. But they still had his journals, and this was like $1.50. Nerd. This is all Friends because, you know, I'm weird. Horror movies and Friends. And I know what most people are going to vote for my Baby Yoda one. But let me know what you think. Which one I should use. I got to start doing that this weekend. What I usually like to do sometime in December is pick a time when I'm not working. And this is advice for you guys too. And not when you're supposed to be listing or sourcing or taking pictures or anything else with your business. But sit down one evening, turn on some Christmas movies if you like Christmas movies, If you don't like Christmas movies, there's Christmas adjacent movies you can watch. There's horror movies that are taking place in holiday times or snow times. I watch a lot of those. Most of the streaming places now have like category for holiday or holiday adjacent. And you can always message me if you want suggestions. I'm a huge movie aficionado. But I have my usual suspects. I watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation and Christmas Story while we were putting up the Christmas tree. And I usually like to watch like Home Alone, Gremlins. I know I'm missing something very important. Oh, I've already watched Elf, of course, because that's Jon Favreau. He did Star Wars and Iron Man, if you didn't know. And he was in Friends. But yeah, so I digress. Pick some free time. Put on some movies. Get your journal, your phone, whatever you're going to do your planner on. You don't have to do your planners the way I do them. I just love bullet journals because you can color code and put stickers. And then in journals, you can also keep a journal. So you have your schedule, you have your to-do list, you have your routines written in there, your menus, your med list, addresses, phone numbers, birthdays. But you can also go back in and say, today was a bad day. Today was a good day. Today I did this. Today I chose to eat healthy. Today I walked. Whatever you need to keep track of. I just like paper and pen. But if you're going to do a digital one, that's fine too. But I usually just sit down. I usually get like a glass of wine and I get my colored pens. I have these only because these are really expensive, but they were like on a super cheapo sale on Amazon last year. And Robert had put up an affiliate link. So I went ahead and bought them on his affiliate link to get him a couple cents. These have all different colors in them and I have stickers. And then I just sit down and set it up. And if you don't know how to set up a bullet journal, I actually have an older video on that, but I might do a newer one as we get closer to 23 and just show you how I set them up. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about because that's important. I have been preaching this for 5 years and I will continue to talk about it in most videos, even the moving video I put out. I always talk about how being organized, writing things down, having a list, having a routine, having to-dos, making sure that everything is planned accordingly and that you're checking things off as you do them, the things that you need to do. This is what will keep you successful, streamlined. It will help you streamline all your processes for work. It will help you work more efficiently. It will help you get more done in less time so that you can be making more profits and be more successful, but you will also have more free time for your family, for your friends, for your me time, which is super important too. You can't work all the time. You'll get burned out. You've got to have a balance in life. And the only way to find that balance is to be organized. If you are always running around like a chicken with your head cut off because you don't know what you're doing at any time of the day and you're just freaking out and you don't know if you're thrifting or taking pictures that day or listing and you're running back and forth and you're constantly getting distracted and you're constantly on Facebook or you're constantly on Instagram and you're just not paying attention to what you're doing and you're all over the place, you're not going to be successful. But if you get up every morning and you know, I do this, 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 and this in this order, boom. And today is Monday. So today's my picture day. So I'm not going to fart around on Facebook. I'm not going to fart around with sourcing. I'm going to go in my office or my space where I take photos and I'm taking photos. Or you can wake up Wednesdays and say, today is half off at Salvation Army. So I know today I do my normal morning routines and then I do my shipping and then I go to Salvation Army and I source. It helps to keep you in line. It helps to keep you organized. It helps to keep you focused. Okay. And it's not to say that you can't fart around on Facebook. Absolutely fart around on Facebook. Absolutely take time to, as Robert would put it, fiddle fart around. But you got to schedule it in so you can reward yourself. Bribes are the best. And I always preach this to people. Bribe yourself because bribes are what makes us all want to work, right? So if you tell yourself, if I take measurements and photographs, say, of this whole stack of jeans, and then I get to set a timer for 15 minutes and go on Instagram and TikTok or whatever and look at reels But when that alarm goes off in 15 minutes, you got to go back to work. But then you can tell yourself, well, hey, if I get 10 listings done, then I get to go talk to my friends on Facebook. Or if I get my 10 listings done, I can take a half an hour break for lunch and watch an episode of a show. Just balance it out. But having a planner and having a day that you, having one day, that having all days that you write stuff down is just amazing. I mean, you can see I write everything down. Do you see this? Where I even wrote down what I needed to take to the DMV for my real ID. By the way, if you get a real ID and you're a girl and you've ever been married, they want they want your birth certificate, but then they want every change of name. Don't get married a lot. So anyway, that is the one thing I really wanted to stress with you guys going into 2023. I've been telling you for 5 years, but I can't tell you enough. You don't have to have, this is a fancy one that already has the days in it. This was something Keith got for me for Christmas last year because I am an avid reader. I'm a huge movie fan and movie watcher, but I love to read as well. And this just has a place to keep track of your books and stuff. So this was a present. But normally I take these plain ones and just build a bullet journal. So you can go to Walmart and spend 25 cents on one of these. And this could be your bullet journal. It doesn't even have to be this fancy. You can literally go and get, this is what I write all my measurements for my jeans in and my grocery list. But you can literally go and spend 25 cents on one of these and just use a black pen, a black ballpoint pen. Or you can get one of these and colored markers and color all day and put stickers in there. Or you can get legal pads, or you can keep it on your phone, but you need to be keeping it. I'm going to catch up on comments. Thank you so much. I love my tree too. Purple's my favorite. And so is Horror. List Perfectly is the best thing you will ever do for your business. So if you're not on List Perfectly now, you should be. And you can get 30% off your first month with code flippinhippos. There's Bobby from Northeast Ohio. Bobby, you come to Pittsburgh a lot to source. So we're going to have to get together one day. You're going to have to come to one of the meetups, which I should also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. There is a new Mid-Atlantic meetup group held here in Pittsburgh. I had the first meetup last month. I had 3 RSVPs, but none of them showed up. I don't know what happened. No one bothered to tell me. They just RSVP'd and didn't show up, which isn't a big deal. I'm not saying it because I'm mad. I'm just kind of like, don't RSVP if you're not going to show up. It wasn't a total bust. I got to eat the salad bar at one of my favorite restaurants and sit and read a book in peace in a nice meeting room all by myself. And then Keith's grandparents had stopped in and said hi to me too. So it wasn't a total bust, but I'm going to not have a meeting in December, and we're going to start them up again in January. So if you are interested, I'm going to put the Facebook group in here. I'm calling it the Mid-Atlantic Meetup Group. Sounded cool. You don't have to be living in the Mid-Atlantic to be part of the Facebook group either, guys. We welcome everyone in there. It's just another place to meet. But if you are in the area, or you're ever going to travel to the area, like Bobby comes in often, you guys can join the Facebook group and then just check when we're going to have meetups and meet people. Okay. I like Robert's and Yoda. Yes, I like Robert a lot too. He's my very good friend. Oh, you like Robert's journal, not Robert. Well, we all like Robert too. So The Shining and Yoda, Stephen King's It, Baby Yoda, Home Alone is good. That's a classic. Okay, so Shelly's got me beat. I've only been married twice, but it is a pain. You got to take your marriage licenses, your divorce papers, your social security, your birth certificate. They literally have to be able to trace your last name from birth through your current ID. And it's like, and the lady was really mean. Like, I'm not going to go into story time here because I would probably use words that would get me kicked off YouTube, but she was mean. She was mean. I had so many paperworks, and I had case paperworks too. So we had put all of our paperworks, like that's a plural word, but it was raining. We had them in a plastic bag. I'm breaking into story time anyway. And she was like, just from the get, like just snapping at me and just being rude. And then the papers all started to fall out of my plastic bag all over the thing and onto her desk. And then she told me, she's like, don't you throw things at me. I'll get up and walk away. You won't get your license today. And I'm like, I actually looked at her and said, you need to chill. No one's throwing stuff. You've got me flustered and I'm dropping. Don't talk to me that way. I'm like, okay, listen. Yeah, it was a mess. Very flustering. I don't like situations like that. Checking things off also makes you feel like you have succeeded, like you have accomplished something. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad I've been a help in your reselling journey. And yes, I am a great cheerleader for List Perfectly because you know what? It's an awesome, amazing inventory management platform. I don't even call it a cross-posting platform anymore because we do manage all of our inventory on it. It's so much more. I was born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. And I've lived in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and New York, Pennsylvania, and now I'm in Pittsburgh, and I've also lived in the Tampa area. Yeah, it's okay. It just kind of like, if I had known that no one was going to show up, I wouldn't have went because it wasn't like detrimental or whatever. I scheduled it for the evening. So I had all my work done for the day. I had everything I wanted to get done for the day done. And then I went, and it is one of my favorite restaurants out here. They have an amazing salad bar that they finally brought back after COVID. And I got to have that. And I was in a meeting room by myself, so it was really quiet. So I read a book. Well, actually, let me be honest with you guys. I took my bullet journal, and I have this little travel pouch I take my colored pens in. And I sat and worked on my bullet journal for an hour because the meeting was supposed to be for three and a half hours or whatever it was. And I'm like, I'm going to give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're coming in. Maybe they're late. I don't know. So I did stuff in my journal for an hour, and then I read a book, and then Keith's grandparents actually came there to eat because it's a restaurant that's close proximity to where we all live. We're very close to Keith's grandparents now, like closer than we used to be when we lived here before. And they had come in to eat, and I seen them, so I just brought them in the meeting room with me, and his aunt was there too. They had just come back from Keith's grandfather's doctor's appointment. By the way, he's doing really well. For those of you that are curious, he did have his surgery. He's doing really well. He's finally back to eating solid food, like right around Thanksgiving. So he got to have turkey dinner. But yeah, it's just, if no one had RSVP'd, I would have stayed home. So don't RSVP if you're not going to go. And then like, if you do RSVP and something comes up, you can go on the Facebook group and just say, you know, I don't get mad. I am a trooper and I'm very easygoing. So yeah, the meetings are going to typically be the second Monday of the month for two reasons. One, it's easier to get the meeting room at the Eaton Park, and it's free, so we can just reserve it. But it's easier to get that on a Monday, and they also appreciate it because it's a slower night for the restaurant. But I feel like weekends, a lot of people take off and they're with family and stuff. 27 additional sales in just under 5 weeks. A lot of people often say I should have taken your advice sooner. In fact, there was a joke with my friends a couple of years ago on the Facebook groups that was hashtag listen to Star. We are a half an hour in. We should have called this live show Catch Up with Star because she's just going to talk because she's so excited to be live again. Okay. So I talked about the most important thing, right? Your journals and your keeping track of stuff. But here's some tips for wrapping up Q4. You want to get rid of your poop items before we get into 23. So go through your listings. Hopefully you're on List Perfectly and you're just going through a catalog versus going to each platform. Because if you have a lot of listings on several platforms and you don't have List Perfectly, you're going to have to go on each platform and then look and edit them on each one, where you can go and edit on the List Perfectly catalog and then push it out. Would you like to see what I'm talking about instead of me just blah, blah, blah? Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen with you. Okay, so let's go over here to List Perfectly. Hey, look what's here. I'm sharing Poshmark all the time. Okay, so let's say this blazer right here. Let's say I wanted to edit it, which I did this morning. I actually, big shout out to Liz O'Kane, if you know who she is. I learned about this term, dark academia, from her. Instead of schoolgirl blazer, she said to put that. So let's say I updated the title and I went through and updated some specifics on here, right? Once it updates on List Perfectly, I can go and you can see that we have it on 5 platforms, right? I can go to my button here. I can click all 5 platforms that it's on, update, and then I can tell it I want to update all the listing details or just the title. If I just wanted to update the title, confirm update, and you're going to see over here, I'm going to try to close my Facebook, but it's jumping. You're going to see all my tabs open up. Boom, 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 boom. And then they're going to change the title, and then I can update it. I'm just going to close them out with making any changes because I didn't really want to make the changes. But that is, no, that's not what I want to do. Goodness, I don't know how to go live anymore, guys. There we go. So go through your items, whether you have List Perfectly or not. Hopefully you have List Perfectly. Here's the thing. I like to hold on to things until they sell. I don't typically okay, I'm just messaging my friend who should know I'm live and shouldn't be messaging me, but okay. Sorry. Distracting. Someone's sending Ahsoka a present, my hamster. Okay, so go through your items, and I typically like to hold on to something until it sells. But sometimes some things were something maybe you shouldn't have sourced. Maybe since you have sourced it, you've learned better. Maybe it's a brand that used to be good, but thanks to all the turds that race to the bottom, it's no longer great. Maybe it's oversaturated now. Maybe it's just really old. If it's 4 or 5 years old, it's probably poop. So what I like to do every December, as we're leaving Q4, going into the new year, I go through my items and I decide what is poop. And then you can make 2 decisions. You can just pull it out of your stores and redonate it and take a write-off. Do it before the end of the year so you can take the write-off for 22. You could just pull it, redonate it, or you can run deep sales and try to clearance it out and give it the rest of the year to try to sell it, and then decide in January if you want to pull it. Typically, we just run the sales. It's easier than trying to pull all the stuff. One time, I think we went through and decided what was poop and pulled 200 items out. But that was way back in the beginning. That was our first year of reselling, and we really learned a lot in the first year. And we really did have a lot of really kind of bad items. And those can pull you down, by the way. If you have a lot of items in your eBay store, especially the way their algorithm works, if you don't have the sell-through rate, if people are looking at your stuff but not ever clicking through or selling or buying, I meant, then I'm just going to turn this off because people are distracting. I'm easily distracted. Sorry. We chose to do that first year because we had so much just garbage poop stuff. which can pull you down. But if it's just kind of like stale because it's been around for a while, or maybe it's just not as good as it used to be, some brands will change, just run discounts, get as many sales as you can in before the year ends, right? So there's that. Clearance poop items, do some deep sales on your good stuff too. So if you have been watching our videos recently, I've mentioned in a couple videos that from Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday, we ran a 35% off sale on our eBay store. Now, please keep in mind that it's not an actual 35% off because we price higher than we want. So if I want $20 for a pair of jeans, I list them on eBay for $25 and I run 20% off sales all the way around, all the time, around the clock, and I get my $20. Sometimes on the weekend, we'll run a 25 or 30% off. So it actually does go a little bit on sale. And then for that holiday, we ran 35%. It's amazing how many stale items are so that's the other thing too. If you have stale items on eBay and you cross-post them to other platforms, they may sell. Thank you so much for the information. If my sales get really, really bad, I may think about doing an OnlyFans or this dating online. Who knows? Money's money, right? But anyway, hi Esmeralda, welcome in. I was telling everyone that you were messaging me about your package for Ahsoka. She sends my hamster snacks and treats. Okay, so run sales. So if you don't price your things really high like we do, maybe you don't want to do 35% off, but figure out what it is for you. So if I had jeans that I wanted to sell for 25, and I keep coming back to that number because it's kind of easy for me to figure out, but I still have a calculator out here. If I want 20 for my American Eagles, I list them at 25. That way I know I can run 20% off sales all week. But if I run a 35% off sale for a weekend, I'm getting $16.25. So I'm okay with that. I paid 99 cents for them. You have to figure out what's okay for you. But consider for the rest of December on the weekends running deeper sales than you normally would, even if it's only by 5%. Clearance your poop items. Recheck older comps. You guys, things can change. Typically, unfortunately, they change for the worst. So you'll have a brand just kind of to the bottom because everybody's got to race to the bottom and everybody's got to get that fast nickel and everybody's got to be a total turd. And I'm not sorry for saying that. If you race to the bottom, this is what you are. This is you.
You can't touch this.
Don't race to the bottom, guys. Don't be this turd, okay? But yeah, you need to check your old comps because prices will go down, brands will change, things change, the economy changes, and sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes it can happen that I got distracted. I am not a turd. No, you're not. If you're not racing to the bottom, you're not a turd. Sometimes a new movie can come out, a new cartoon can come out, a new show can come out, and something regains popularity again and becomes worth more money. Like right now, Addams Family stuff is worth more money. Like when the new Sonic came out. So just keep your fingers on the pulse of what's going on in pop culture as well, because sometimes a new kids show will come out and you can go in and raise your prices too. But just check all your old stuff. Make sure that your comps are still, you can't have your silver jeans at $50 anymore. They got to start at $40. So thank you, turds. This is a point of contention, and it's actually going to come up in a future unpopular reseller opinion video. But delist and relist your items, make them fresh. That's what we do. They tell you not to. We do it, and we make sales from doing it. So I'll get into that really in depth in a future video. Keep listing, guys. Don't get discouraged. This Q4 has been different than other Q4s. It hasn't been blow your mind. I'm going on vacation and buying a yacht and sending my kids to college Q4. But it hasn't really been that bad either. I mean, even for us, like sales were really slow for us September through most of the beginning of November because of moving and everything. But they're coming around now, and I feel like they'd be double what they are if we hadn't have had that lull where we weren't listing and our stores were all on hold. All of our selling platforms were on vacation. I feel like if we had been solidly listing leading up to Q4 and never taken a break and moved and all of that, I feel like we'd be doing even better than what we are doing. So don't get discouraged. Just keep listing, keep active, keep sending out offers and doing all the things that keep your platforms happy. Happy stores are active stores, right? Make sure you're still organized. I know that coming into Q4, I always tell folks, and I always do a video on it. I think I did a live show back in Florida on how to prepare for Q4 to get organized. Make sure your shipping area is neat. Make sure that you have all your supplies in a nice, streamlined way that you can use them for good processes and processing your items. Make sure you have a good inventory system and that everything's organized and nice and neat. Sometimes that can get messed up over time and you have to go in and reorganize it. We like to do it once every quarter. We just go in and double check our supplies. Like, do we need to order poly bags? Do we need to order tape? And just make sure it's still all organized the way that we like it to be. And I say we check it once a quarter because at the beginning of every quarter, you get your coupon from eBay to use for free supplies. So it's a good time to go in and reorganize and check everything over and see if you need anything because you can use your coupon to get it for free. Make sure your inventory's still nice and neat. I know that a lot of times Q4 can get busy and we get sloppy and sometimes things happen. Just make sure, it's still organized. Twice a year, I recommend at the very least once a year, everyone should do this. But we do it in the spring and then again in the fallish winter. We actually go through our inventory, bin by bin by bin, and make sure everything is still listed. Things fall off of eBay inexplicably. It always has. For 5 years, I've been telling you this. Things for no reason other than the fact that little tiny elves live in eBay and steal your stuff. Things fall off of eBay. You got to make sure they're still listed. That's another good thing about List Perfectly. So years prior, pre-List Perfectly, when I would do our inventory and I would find 50 to 100 to 200 items that just weren't listed on eBay anymore, I would have to pull it out of our inventory system, rephotograph it, recreate the listing, and relist it. But now, if I find an item that has fallen off of eBay, I go on my List Perfectly catalog and I push it out. I crosspost it back to eBay. I just push out the listing. Boom, done. List Perfectly is a lifesaver. But yes, go through your inventory. Make sure everything's still listed. That counts as activity as well. That keeps your store active and happy because I guarantee you're going to find things that fall off. I do this twice a year and I find no less than 200 items at the time. Morgan says September and October are great. The first week in November hit and sales slowed significantly. That depends on what you're selling too, which we're going to talk about next or soon. Clothing. So a lot of times used clothing sellers will see a slowdown at the beginning of November because people are now spending their money on gifts, new items, and things that they're purchasing for gifts. And they're not purchasing used clothing for gifts. I actually really think that people who sell used clothing, our Q4 is actually Q1. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I just want to work down my list so I don't forget any of my points that I typed out for myself here. So go through your inventory, run sales, clearance out your poop, recheck your comps, delist and relist old stuff. And when you do that, touch it too. Don't just end it and relist it. Move the photos around. Check the photos. Remove the background if it's ugly. Change your titles. Change some of the orders of your keywords. Switch those around. Maybe raise or lower the price. And make sure you're still organized, especially if you're selling used clothes, because our sales will pick up Christmas and into Q1. people get money for Christmas and decide to treat themselves and spend money on themselves. But a lot of people will look for that secondhand affordable clothing. So that's why our sales will pick up after Christmas and into Q1, also tax return money. So I've always noticed that between Christmas and like March is when we actually have our Q4, because that's when people who are looking for used affordable clothing, secondhand clothing, are shopping. They're getting their Christmas money. They're starting a new year, new me. So maybe they're getting new wardrobe, new clothes. Maybe they're losing weight, and they're getting their tax returns money. And that's when they shop. And that's when people will really treat themselves, especially people who are all about brands and labels that can't, say, go to the mall and spend $300 on a pair of silver jeans or True Religion. They come online to find the secondhand ones. It's a lot easier for folks to come online and look for those secondhand items that they want than to go and scour their own thrifts and their own Goodwills and Salvation Armies. Because if you specifically want a pair of Miss Me jeans in a specific size and style, you could go all over town to every thrift store and never find them. But if you have money in hand from Grandma's Christmas card and you know that's what you want, you can go on eBay and find 50 pairs of those jeans from 50 different sellers and then make your choice from there. So that's when the clothing sales are going to start picking up. That actually was my next point. So Q1 is really good for used clothing sellers. People are going to continue to spend money on clothing, even if the economy is bad, even if we go into a recession, even if everything else, the prices raise up, people are still going to buy clothes. The number one reason is because it is illegal to be naked. Y'all, last time I checked, it is still illegal to go outside of your home unless you're fully clothed. So people need clothes. But people need clothes for work. People need clothes to live in, to go to school in. There are still people, even when the economy is bad, that want to look cute and have a nice wardrobe. People lose weight at the beginning of the year, always, and so they're looking to replace their larger clothes with smaller sizes. There's all kinds of reasons why people will always buy clothes. I always say that selling used affordable clothing, secondhand or new with tags, whatever you're selling, if you're selling it affordably online on your different platforms, it is recession proof. Clothing is recession proof. Now, if you're, got really expensive luxury brands, you may not sell as much as you used to, as people don't have the kind of money to spend on that. But then on the other side of that coin, the 1% of people that spend that kind of money on clothing are going to have that money anyway. Whatever happens with the economy really isn't going to affect their bottom line or them opening their wallets to spend money. But our bread and butter items and our volume sales that Keith and I do, those are aimed towards people who are very conscious of having a budget, conscious of how much money they're spending, conscious of every penny counts. So I think that we're going to be okay. And if anything, our sales may increase because as people have less money to spend but still need clothing, they're looking for the secondhand clothing that's affordable. They're more likely to buy a pair of $20 American Eagle jeans than $50 or $40 silver jeans when money is tight. So when they come online looking for used clothing, looking for affordable clothing, that's what they're buying. People will come online, like I said, because it's easier to do that than to scour their own thrifts for what they're looking for, if they're looking for something specific. I really think volume and bread and butter is going to be where it's at, as people are more or less inclined actually to spend money on luxury brands. Okay, so that all said, as we get more towards January, I want you guys to just take some time to rethink your processes, and we're going to do more videos on that. That's actually next Friday's live show. It's going to be how to set up better processes and routines to streamline your business and make you more productive in less amount of time, because you want to work harder, not smarter, right? So between now and next Friday, start thinking about those processes. Whether you're watching now live or you're watching this in a replay because you didn't catch the live, you're going to watch the replay next week. So think ahead of time. What are your processes that you do? And what do you think that you can do better? What do you think that you can do faster? What do you think you're doing that isn't necessarily economical for your time management, right? We can all do things better. There's all kinds of things that we do that you could streamline. If you're listing shirts and jeans together, that's not streamlined. That's not a good process. You want to do all your jeans and then all your shirts. So just kind of think of that for the next week or so. Pay attention to yourself. Watch yourself between now and next Friday when you go sourcing. How do you drive to the stores? Do you go in a way that makes sense, that saves time? Do you drive in a way that's like planned out, that you go to these stores and then you come home, or are you just willy-nilly all over the place? Pay attention. Pay attention to how you're going to the stores. Pay attention to what you're doing in the stores. Are you even like streamlined process when you're thrifting? Keith and I can get in and get out in under an hour with 100 items. So yes, there's two of us, but that's mostly jeans and that's mostly me. So if you're fast, you can streamline your processes. So just pay attention to that. How are you driving? How are you planning your errands? How are you thrifting? When you sit down to take measurements or photographs, what's your system there? How are you listing? How are you cross-posting? Pay attention to yourself and what you're doing so that next week we can sit down and talk about how to streamline those processes better. Because if all of us can work more productively in less amount of time, you're going to be happier because you're going to get more done. So if you're getting more done in less time and you're still working the same amount of hours, you're going to get more work done and you're going to make more sales, and then you're going to have time to relax with your peoples and for yourself and take some time for you. As we move into 2023, also think of more streams of income you can add. This includes cross-posting, affiliate links, selling on Instagram. You can do reels on Instagram. They'll monetize you over there. And you can get paid for doing those. And they're not like doing YouTube. Reels are completely different. In fact, I should do a whole video on that. Because doing the short reels on Instagram are completely different than doing YouTube. You don't even have to be on camera if you don't want to. You don't even have to use your voice. You can do 20-second videos all day, every day, and build up your following, and then they monetize you and you're making money over there. TikTok too. There's just all kinds of ways that you could add different streams of income. And don't forget that as we prepare for the first quarter of the year, that it is possible the economy is not going to get much better. So reinvest your money wisely. If you want to keep buying inventory, I absolutely suggest buying as much as you can now, because it's an investment in your business. It's something that you can sell and make money on instead of just sitting on your money. You're investing it. I'm not an economical expert, though. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just saying this is how my thoughts go. This is what Keith thinks as well. This is what we do. It's better to invest that money in something that will bring you profits than to just sit on it. But also, if you can purchase as much as you can right now in December, one, that's a tax break for this year. And two, if you live anywhere up north or in the Mideast where it can snow and get icy moving further into winter, you'll have like a little squirrel. You'll have your little nuts, your little pile to work on, and you won't be stuck with not having stuff to list. So that all said, I got through all my notes. I want to do the giveaway. Let me set that up. While I'm setting that up, does anybody have any questions or anything from what I've said? I need inventory storage stream link. Hubby is tired. I know. I saw your post in the Facebook group this morning, Della. And do you guys have a garage or anything, or are you thinking about getting a storage unit, even though they're you said 20 miles away from your house? Believe it or not, I do read everything that goes on in my group. I don't always respond to it, but I pay attention. I did see that. So Troubleshooting, I would say garage, if you can get a storage unit in your yard, like a shed, something like that. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. We're fortunate enough that we've always had like a place to put stuff. Hi, Jamie. Thanks for coming in. We're about to do the giveaway, and then I'm going to let everyone go. Hey, while I'm getting this giveaway set up, what's everyone doing? Because you know it's Friday, and I always tell you guys, work hard, play hard, work-life balance, you know, work to live, don't live to work. So what's everyone doing tonight? We are going to order Domino's Pizza, and then on the Disney Plus app, streaming app, they have a Guardians of the Galaxy and a Star Wars Holiday Christmas special. So we're going to watch both of those, and then we're going to play some. I'm not sure if we're playing Pokemon or World of Warcraft tonight. Nerd City, Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars, and Pokemon. All right, we're going to draw the winner. Here we go. See who it draws. Mary, I can't say it, Prizzy. Mary Prizzy, congratulations. You have won one free month of Liz Perfectly. And you can use that for any of the subscriptions of your choice. And if you're already using Liz Perfectly, you can get your next month free. Mary Prizzy. So, Mary, make sure that you message me on Instagram or Facebook and give me your email address, and I will set you up with the marketing coordinator, Tiffany, over at Liz Perfectly and get you your free month. Congratulations. I do suggest trying the Pro since it's free, has the most features, and you can do a lot with it in the month that you have it for free. I'll be on Netflix tonight, relaxing by the light of the Christmas tree. I have been turning on my Christmas tree every night and just sitting in the dark, like, reading books and stuff. And Keith's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, have you seen my tree? It's so pretty. I'm sitting by it. So yeah, everybody make sure that you take some time off this weekend to enjoy your family, your friends, yourselves. Don't work too hard. Think about the things that I have said in this video. Think about getting yourself a bullet journal for next year. I need to do another bullet journal setup. I'm writing it down. Look, when I tell you I write everything down, I am not kidding. All right, guys, go be productive, but also take some time to relax this weekend. Mary, don't forget to send me a message with your email. And everyone else, I'll see you back here next Friday live, same time, same bat channel, 4 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about streamlining processes so we can all be more productive in 2023. Until then, guys, go be productive, go make some money. And thank you, as always, for joining me and watching. And Tammy, thank you so much again for the super chat. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy early holidays. Thank you again. I had so much fun. This was my first live in forever. You could tell I geeked out. So thank you for being here for that. Love you guys. Bye.